Our guest coming up here in a second. He used to own businesses, he used to chase success and drink to escape it all. Yeah, until he gave it all up to become a monk. Now he's showing high performers how to trade anxiety for presence without quitting their careers. This morning, Mornings in the Lab, as part of the Community Corner, is excited to introduce you to our friend, Nick Hashemi. Nick!
Hi, kid. Thanks for having me.
What's going on, my brother? How are you, pal? I've been engaging with you on the LinkedIn platform. I love your content. I love your story. I love where you come from. Dude, can you tell I'm a fan? And the fact that we're hanging out here together, I'm so grateful for that. So thanks for joining me this morning in the lab, brother.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, really. And I love what you're doing.
Thailand, eh?
Yeah, man. I've been here for 6 years now, more. It was one of those runaways when I left everything back home in Sweden. And I was like, I can't do this shit anymore because I had a company and I had everything, And I just ran away to this country just like with 2 suitcases. That's all. I packed it up and just came here. And no plans. And I mean, later on, I just found out that I was running for myself. So you can't run.
Running for self. So let's go here, brother. So, you talk about a life of booze. I'm going to assume a life of bad decisions. I'm assuming mornings of what the hell am I doing? I'm making some assumptions here. You packed up your suitcases, you headed over to Thailand. And where in that journey did you look in the mirror, Nick, and realize that your human was the one who was lost?
I think when my divorce happened, I divorced my wife a couple of years ago when I was in Thailand. So that was when everything crashed. So, I had no money, I had no wife, I had no home, just rock bottom. I had to sell my wedding ring to have money for the rent and the food. So when you get to that level, you kind of wake up. It was like, okay, dude, you have 2 choices, drown or swim. Which one do you pick? And I'm a warrior. So it's like the drowning part was even in the picture from start. I never actually thought of that. The thought crossed my mind, but it's like, no way, man. What are you talking about? Let's swim.
Yeah.
So I've been swimming the last 2 years constantly with a lot of discipline and my biggest non-negotiable was to become the best version of myself. And I'm going to keep on going until the day I live. So, it's a never ending story, right? And I've been working on myself. As John said that so beautifully, like you have to take care of yourself and stop being a victim, goddammit, and just don't blame others. It's only you. It's always you. It's always you. So take care of you, and then when you take care of you, you can take care of others.
Yeah, this is awesome. What then, Nick, in your experience working with other high performers and coaching folks and meeting with folks, Nick, what's the most common lie that not only you told yourself, but that high performers tell themselves before they burn out?
It's pretty simple. They think that they're the Superman. I thought. We thought we were Superman. We thought we have all our lives. And they just postpone this decision. And then they don't take care of their health, mental health, physical health. And they keep telling themselves this lie that I'm good. No way, man. I get a vacation somewhere there in the front, in the future. And this nonstop running around, not knowing what you're doing, really.
Yeah.
I did it 49 years. I was 49 years. I ran around and ran companies and had the titles, you name it. But at the end of the day, I didn't know what's my purpose? What am I doing here? So all these questions that kind of pops up. And unfortunately, this is the truth. Unfortunately, most of the people, they take care of themselves when they already have crashed.
Yes. Hold on, Nick. Jimmy, did you hear what I heard? Did you say for 49 years you were working in court? Like 49, like 49?
Yep.
Dude.
I'm 51 now.
I was just going to say, are you 51?
Yeah.
Dude, you look exceptional.
To be honest, these last 2 years, I've been so strict with everything, with my food, my health, my gym, meditation. You feel rejuvenated. I'm happy. And that tempo was like,
yeah.
So, if you take care of this guy,
yeah,
the rest will follow.
I love it. So Nick, you said purpose, and I want to lean into this with you for a second because I had a awesome guest on the show last week. JK, Jonathan, he reframed purpose for me so eloquently, and I want to throw it to you and I want to get your perspective on it. So he was a pro baseball player, wonderful pro life, woke up on a Monday going, holy fuck, my career's done, my purpose is gone. And he found himself lost. He reframed it for me, which I really enjoyed and have been leaning into. He's now thinking about potential over purpose. because his belief is, and it's hard, and I think it's hard to argue with Nick, that he's coming in with this idea of if we continue to wake up chasing our potential instead of our purpose, Nick, as we go through life, different things happen. We adopt different identities. We adopt different scenarios. You know, one day you're divorced, one day you weren't, different careers, but your potential can always continue to rise. So I really enjoyed when he said to me, Keith, I invite you to reconsider purpose over potential, because maybe if we're chasing potential, we can always have the purpose that comes next. Does that make sense, Nick? And what's your point of view on that?
Totally. It's just we reframe it to that. And I ask you another question.
Yeah.
What do you really want? What that purpose, that potential, where to get you? What's the end goal? What do you want? Right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
potential or purpose, or call it whatever you want, we're doing something to reach something, right? Because I go deeper. I tell you that purpose, potential, whatever, we all are doing these things for one thing only, and that's to reach happiness. You want to be happy. If you ask yourself why enough with times, you'll reach to that. Why do I go to work? Why do I do this? Why do I make money? Everything we do is for you, Keith, to be happy. That's what we're searching for in life. But yeah, I agree. I mean, potential is something else, because I started to chase my potential. I want to be the best version of myself.
Yes.
That's my potential. That's not my purpose. Is totally different. My purpose is like helping people and all that.
Yes.
But to help people, you need a potential.
That's
So
right.
yeah, you can put it like that too.
Yeah. Nick, so let's keep going here then. You know, you're coaching somebody maybe tuning in right now, what or somebody who's lost or stuck or who's kind of in a rut, for lack of a better term. What would be one small daily practice that you would recommend for someone who wants to start this journey?
Isn't that obvious? I mean, everybody who knows me knows what I'm going to say. And it's meditation, of course. It's the beautiful tool. I tell you what, Keith, I've been running around my life, and I've been reading, and I've been studying, and I've been talking the heads of people, and all that knowledge that I gained on these 49 years, the wisdom I gained by sitting still in a cave with nothing was 10 times more than these 49 years of gaining knowledge or whatever. Because the wisdom you gain about yourself and life, that is, you can't find it just like by going reading books. You have to sit with your mind, and you have to like challenge it. You got to corner your mind, and your mind knows this. So that's why 95% of the people, they can't meditate, cannot sit still in 5 minutes, because the mind's like, no, we're not doing this. Let's get up. I want to be in the future. I want to be in the past. Come on. Give me something to work on. Data.
You've meditated for 16 hours in a single day, and I got to think you've done it more than once. The first time you accomplished that, what stuck most for you at the end of that meditation experience? How hard it was, how easy it was, what was surprising about it?
Clarity and joy.
Oh, elaborate.
Yeah, clarity and joy. Because I mean, and when I did 16 hours, first of all, I have to be honest that it was not 16 hours in one sit. It's impossible. It was 1 hour sitting, 1 hour walking, because in Vipassana, we do 1 hour walking, and then we have to follow it up with 1 hour sitting. And I was doing this 1 hour sitting, 1 hour walking all day, just eating some lunch, going back, doing 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour. So 24 hours, I did 16 hours that day. And when I went to my master, he was like, he'd supervise you without supervising you. He knows exactly what you're doing every day. So he's like, so how many hours did you meditate yesterday? I was like, 16. I said, I know. He's like, I know. He's like, okay, now you're not human anymore.
We're hanging out with Nick Hashemi joining us from Thailand today. Nick's journey, guys, is the exact opposite of hustle culture. But his audience is filled with high achievers who've realized that hustle wasn't the answer. Nick blends ancient Buddhist teachings with modern ADHD diagnosis and tech, making him one of the few mindfulness mentors deeply rooted in both Eastern and Western frameworks. And despite being an intro to mindfulness for many, Nick's message isn't surface level, calm. Guys, it's about practical presence and deep transformation. Nick joining us all the way from Thailand here today. Nick, you're writing a book. Tell us about your upcoming book and what's the core message that you're writing toward?
I'm writing a book about parts in my life, retelling my story, of course. And the main purpose of the book is to teach people how to live mindful lives. So it's mindful living kind of blueprint. So it's useful for you to, it's kind of how to live a mindful life in your daily lives. And that's the core message of it. But I mean, I put some background of me so people can kind of recognize themselves, some people, or something like that. Because a lot of people kind of write books about their lives, but I mean, I wanted to give something. I wanted to leave something behind. So maybe sometime in the future, people still read that book. I don't know.
Nick, what advice would you give yourself to the version of yourself just before everything collapsed, just before you packed your bags and went to Thailand? What advice would you be saying to yourself if you looked back, Nick?
Tough question, because I'm rarely in the past, so I have to think.
I know. What's sincere is I believe that, because the skills when you've trained yourself is, I'm suspecting you don't spend much time in your brain looking backwards. You're always looking forward or being present. Am I correct?
You're totally correct, Keith. And the thing is that the future and the past is just illusion. It doesn't exist. It's just thin air. What is it? Where's the future? Can you show the future to me now? Where is it?
Do you think we're living in a simulation, Nick? I'm serious question.
Oh my God, yes. After thousands of hours of meditation, I believe we do. I mean, we're just like a program. We're like, AI is a program. We are a program too. We program a new program called AI, and he might take over. So who says that that's not what's happening? You don't know that. And I love the movie Matrix, and we talked about Matrix a lot in the temple, because it's such a nice, it's a documentary. It's like, it kind of explains everything so well. Non-duality, so both of the writers on Matrix were non-duality guys. So that's why it's so interesting. So yeah, I believe that we live in a simulation.
Hanging out with Nick, who just proclaimed The Matrix is a documentary. Whoop, baby, dropping some nuggets in the lab this morning with Nick Hashemi. Guys, let's do some quick hits, some rapid fire. Let's get into it. All right, rapid fire with Nick Hashemi. Boom. Monk robes or business suits?
Monk robes.
Yeah. Last time you completely lost your patience. Oh, I like this one.
Ooh, a year and a half ago.
Oh, tell me where and when and what happened.
It was just a stupid thing with my friends. So it was nothing. But I mean, I have this very close relationship with one of my best friends, and it's like, it's mess around. And I couldn't let the stupid thing happen. Anyway, I just lost it. And then the awareness took over. So it was gone.
Most powerful book you've read recently?
It's actually the gold dust. Is from a master in a temple, a monk. It's a lot about Buddhism and awareness and Vipassana. Collecting the gold dust, that's what it's called.
Nick, go-to grounding habit when your mind starts spinning? Meditation?
Yeah, I was like.
And then here's the last one for you, brother, before I get to the real last one. Nick, what's the biggest misconception, the biggest, that people have when they hear meditation?
It's sitting in hours and hours and hours and hours and just don't moving, and sitting and don't moving for hours. It's also like, I don't know if it's a misconception, but a lot of people say this is not for me. It's not for me.
My own personal I think people's misconception, Nick, is that people think it's boring. But where I see it on its head is that if you create intention with your awareness of the moment, there's nothing boring going on. Because if it's actually boring to you, you need to go look in the fucking mirror and be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Life isn't boring. So that's why, Nick, from my POV, and I those who listen to me regularly know how I feel about this. Humans are naturally scared of the word intention, because when we're intentional, we have to follow through with it, right? So if I'm sitting down and intentionally meditating, holy fuck, that's effort. Well, I don't want to put effort into, Nick. What do you mean I gotta sit here and intentionally think? I just don't want to do that, right? And I think that's often why people say it's not for me. No, it's not for you because you're a scared motherfucker of being intentional. That's what it is. You're scared to be intentional because you're afraid that intention, because what happens, Nick, with intention, it has a result. And sometimes that result is not good. And I think that's why humans are often so scared of intention.
Yeah. It's a little bit deeper than that, and it's also true. But why you say it's boring, why you want to say intention, is because your brain doesn't want to do it, because your brain cannot exist in the present moment. For example, if I ask you now, what's the next thing you're going to think of? What is the next thing you're going to think of? What is the next thing you're going to think? Your brain kind of freezes, because it's like, wait a minute, give me data. I need to have data to work on. So in the present moment, it doesn't have any data. It's happening like this. Begin and it doesn't have the time to focus. So it hates to be in the present moment. It always wants to be in the future and the past. That's why you can't sit down and do the meditation, because your mind tells you, don't do that, man. I can't breathe. You're gonna kill me.
Yeah.
That's but at the same time, we always thought the meditators in our temple it's like a key. Intent has to be there. It's very important. So before any meditation, before the start, you have to tell yourself, I intend to be mindful of my body and mind in the present moment. For 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, when you give that command to your brain, then it kind of locks in. You just sit there and do it. It's the magic key, we call it.
Man, Nick,
Makes sense?
absolutely it does. Yeah, absolutely. I'm digesting your words right now. I'm intentionally being in the moment, and I think that's why I'm good at what I do. And I'm not just tooting my own horn, but when I'm here on my show for 2 hours, I am in the moment. I'm intentional. I'm paying attention. I'm listening. I'm aware. And there's times, Nick, when the show's over, I don't even know what happened. Like, honest to God.
Yeah,
like,
because you love it. You love what you're doing. That's right.
I do 100%. I know we're making good content and we're helping men out there. To me, this is like being in a meditation, Nick, because I'm in the moment. I have awareness, right? And I think that's something that we, maybe that's the way we spin that word for humans who don't want to meditate, which is more like, no, get into something you really enjoy doing, and maybe you're actually meditating and you don't even realize you're meditating. So,
yes, true. Because it's all about to have the mind to focus on the present moment. Everything that we do with this Vipassana meditation, this and that, it's only because you want to bring yourself back to the present moment, so you don't let the brain just fly off the future or go to the past.
Yeah, well, John's taught me too about the present moment, Nick, and I've gotten really good at it just spending time on the show with John, is again, using the present moment to respond instead of react when a situation arises. Because I was of the ilk where I would respond, right? Which was, and then in the moment, the emotion gets ahead of you, and next thing you know, everything just gets out of whack. So I've been really intentionally creating awareness about in the moment, what are my words? How am I going to respond so I don't have to react? Because your words don't have control over me. And that's been a game-changing habit that I have worked into my world. Being present, be in the moment, respond instead of react. And those simple things, Nick, have been really much a game changer for me, brother.
Yeah, and I think the reason is your self-awareness has risen a lot.
Yes.
Because self-awareness is the highest leverage tool we have. So if you get that up by meditation, by whatever you're doing, then you kind of step aside and start to look at your behavior, how you speak, how you walk, how you talk. So it's so cool. It's so amazing. So self-awareness is amazing. And today you had some goal you sent up, and self-awareness was one of them. I would say that's the most important. That's the mother of all of them.
Yeah. Nick, closing question for you, brother, before we get to the creator spotlight with you. And I love this one, so I want you to lean into it. If peace really is power, what's one thing you wish that every person chasing success would understand, Nick Hashemi, before it's too late?
Good question. Tough one. I think that you have to do whatever you can to create peace in the mind, because if you create peace in the mind, it creates power in the world collectively. So not only you, everyone, peace in the mind creates power in the world. That's my message.
Yeah, I like that. All right. Well, listen, this is the part of the show where I take the big old light that I gave to Nick a couple weeks ago. We celebrated Nick in the community corner, the creator spotlight. And how this works is I invited Nick to the show so we can get to know Nick. It's the highlight of my week this week. True story, Nick. And what we like to do is like to pay it forward. So we said, Nick, here's the light for you, brother. I'd like you to shine the light on somebody in your community, in your world, so we can keep paying this experience forward. And guys, you ever feel like you're living two lives? The one you show the world and the one you're quietly building behind the scenes. Well, the creator today that Nick Hashemi is celebrating worked double shifts for years, holding down one of the most emotionally demanding jobs on earth. But late at night, in between shifts, he wasn't resting. This guy was investing, not just in real estate, but his future. Not because he hated his job, but because he knew it wasn't the final chapter. And he turned a nursing career into the launch pad for a new life in real estate. He used 2 nursing jobs to fund his first deals. He's now a full-time real estate developer, building generational wealth while sharing his story to help others do the same. And this guy's still not done. The guy is absolutely not done. His next move, exploring how AI can reshape opportunity for people who weren't born into it. This morning, Mornings Live with Keith and Friends, on behalf of our guest, Nick Hashemi, is excited to bring all of you guys and celebrate to the stage. Jimmy, let's bring him up. We got Jesse Singh. What's going on, Jesse? Jesse's story is what Mornings in the Lab and the Business Athlete Performance Lab is all about. Quiet grit, long-term vision, and the courage to pivot with purpose. This guy just didn't dream bigger. He worked until the dream was undeniable. And Nick, brother, I gotta say, man, when I asked you who you wanted to celebrate, I fucking absolutely loved the note that you shared. Because Jesse wasn't just a connection on LinkedIn. He was a link in the chain. The person whose comments helped you find Gio Maria Bugai. And Gio helped you find Amy Reiner, who we've celebrated and had on the show a couple of times. And then finally, nation, Amy Reiner led you to us. That right motherfucking there, I'm gonna emphasize that, is the kind of ripple effect that we live for inside the lab. And I love it because when I created this segment, I could only have imagined, Nick, if I was to look to the future, that it's working out like it is right now. Brother, lots of love for it. So Jesse Singh, we're celebrating you here today. But Nick, why are you celebrating Jesse today, brother?
Because when I started LinkedIn, he was one of the first guy I kind of connected deeply with, and we had the same kind of a thinking. And I have ADHD. I think he has ADHD as well, so that's why we connected maybe. And then from him, just everything just like spread, and the dots got connected with people. And so for me, he's like the one who kind of introduced me to this LinkedIn society platform, whatever. So I clearly remember that. And we have so many posts. Many times when he posted something, I was about to post the same thing or vice versa. So
yeah,
really like in the same frequency. I appreciate it. Yeah.
In the same frequency, Jesse Singh, Nick Hashemi, and Jesse, here's how it works, brother. Because we celebrated Nick and had Nick on the show, we're now celebrating you. And as a result, we'd love to have you on the show in the exact same seat that Nick is in right now, so we can give you the light, Jesse Singh, and celebrate somebody in your orbit for the next creator spotlight on the community corner on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Nick, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you hanging out with me this morning. I appreciate you being up late. No, I guess it's late there in Thailand right now. I appreciate your nomination, and I appreciate continuing to getting to know you and engage with you on the platforms. Come back and hang out with me again sometime, would you?
Of course, man. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here anytime. It's been amazing. You're doing an amazing job. So
thank you.
And I just feel it. This show is going to be huge. I'm just telling now, mark my words. And the day is like super huge. You can invite me back.
Dude, no, listen right now. I say this all the time. Yeah. Once a friend of the lab, always a family member of the lab. And now you're part of the lab alumni. Nick, we got people batting down the doors wanting to get into the lab. So like, hey, you can get into the lab one of three ways. We can invite you like we did with Nick. You can be nominated like we did with Jesse, or you can pay. Yeah, true story. You can pay to get in the lab.
Which one do you like the most? Which one do you like the most?
Oh, Nick, lots of love. I've never had a monk on my show.
Thank you so much for having me, man. It was a pleasure being here, and I loved it. And keep on doing what you're doing.